especially if you were in a situation where somebody may have been somewhat abusive or told you things about yourself that made you feel less than. If they told you that over and over again, it started to set in, right? So if it started to set in with them telling you negative, then if you start telling yourself positive things over and over again, how do you think that's going to impact you and your self-esteem? Hey guys, welcome back to Redo Your Life. I'm DG Marie, and thank you for coming to my channel. Glad to see you all. I wanted to talk to you a little bit today. Something has been just kind of heavy on my heart, and I wanted to kind of go toward the healing side. I don't know if you saw my first video, but if you saw it, I mentioned in the first video that the whole purpose of my channel is that I want to help people learn how to thrive while they're going through their healing process. And that could be healing from a breakup or healing from loss of a loved one, or just any kind of loss. And so I think with the current state of affairs and with everything that is going on in the media today, I felt just completely drained. I don't know how y'all feel. I don't know, if you watch the media or the news, or if you're getting your news off of some kind of social media platform or something. But for me, I've been kind of trying to stay connected to everything just because I want to be informed and know what's going on. But at the same time, it can be a complete mental drain. And I feel like today, everything kind of took a toll on me. So it kind of landed on my heart that I wanted to create a video and just kind of give you 7 ways to prioritize yourself while you're going through your healing process. Because again, you can't pour from an empty cup. You cannot. You have to be able to take care of yourself through all of this. And again, that's through your healing process, through your breakup, whatever it is that you're dealing with, and also through current events and the state of our country and the world and all of that. It just listening to it, and the negative and the drag and the fears and the being paranoid and anxious and all of that, it can really take a toll on you mentally. So the first thing that I want you to focus on when taking care of yourself and prioritizing yourself is self-care. What does that look like? Self-care, it really can be just as simple as getting a new skincare routine, or just beefing up your skincare routine and getting back to doing it. Sometimes we kind of get sidetracked and we forget about different things that we've kind of started in the past to get ourselves to where we want to be. And sometimes life can have a way of getting you off track. So do a skincare routine, do something with your nails, go get a massage, go get a pedicure, whatever it is that you feel that makes you feel happy, that puts you in a better state of mind. Meditate for a moment, or get quiet and journal, or just breathe. Whatever it is that makes you feel good about yourself, that you need to do for self-care, do that. The next thing, number 2, is set some boundaries. Boundaries. Boundaries, they can be crazy, right? Boundaries are difficult for some of us sometimes. I know I struggle with boundaries, especially being like a recovering people pleaser. Sometimes you find yourself fearful of saying no, or you have a hard time saying no, or you don't want to come across like you're being, mean or whatever it is, or having an attitude or something like that. So sometimes we tend to take on more than we really should be taking on, or we tend to entertain or communicate with people longer than we probably should. So as far as setting some clear boundaries, figure out what it is that makes you feel good. And, if you're communicating with somebody, if you need to cut them off, cut them off. Go no contact. If you need to cut them off, cut them off. go zero contact. I've done that in the past. When I ended my relationship, I had to go no contact. And that was for my sake, my healing. And there's a lot of different things involved in that I won't go into right now, but if that's what you need to do, and that is with friends, family, relationship, loved one, whatever it is, if somebody's presence is a drag or a mental load, or they put you in a situation where you start to feel anxious, your stomach turns, you feel like you're walking on eggshells, or you know this person has a manipulative personality where they're going to start talking to you and saying things to you to make you start taking in their energy and start feeling bad about the situation. And then now you've been sucked right back into the emotions and everything with it. Sometimes when you know a person has the capacity to do that to you, sometimes it's better for you to just go no contact and cut them off for your own mental well-being, so that you can stay focused on what it is you're trying to do and heal. So set some clear boundaries. Focus on your passion. What is it that you're passionate about? Are you passionate about politics? Are you passionate about community service and serving your community? Are you passionate about being a mentor, or just teaching a class, or cooking or something? What are your passions? And sometimes when you get into a relationship, it can be really easy to kind of forget some of your passions, because you become, if you're not careful, you can find yourself getting so consumed with spending time with this other person, trying to be a support to them, being there for them. And sometimes, and I will say, especially for women, you tend to see this a lot, but men do too. But sometimes we get so consumed with trying to be involved and a part of that relationship that we tend to forget certain things that are important to us, like our passions. So it's really important to get back to doing those things. And if you find yourself going into another relationship, you have to be very intentional about keeping yourself connected to your passions and not cutting off friends, loved ones, and people, things that make you happy when going into a relationship. And of course, if you're in a good relationship, that relationship makes you happy. And sometimes people tend to gravitate toward spending time with that person because they make you happy, which that's a beautiful thing. But at the same time, be intentional and make sure you keep yourself connected to some of your passions, so that you can be a whole person and not become so dependent or codependent on that other person and you lose yourself. Journal your feelings. And I kind of mentioned on journaling a few minutes ago, but yes, number 4 is going to be journaling your feelings. If you are the type of person that you find it hard to express yourself, I know a lot of people like that. I have been that way in the past as well. Sometimes, you don't want to rock the boat. Or sometimes you find it hard to communicate and say what it is that you really feel on your heart. So a good way to help you start developing an understanding of how you feel and how your feelings work when you're in different situations with other people is to journal. Write it down. I have this little booklet here, my little journal. Somebody gave it to me as a gift. But again, pull this thing out when you're going through something, when you're feeling something, when you're having one of those moments where you just like, you don't know, maybe you're feeling some kind of way, but you don't know why you're feeling that way. Or maybe it's just something that you want to put into like a routine as part of your self-care, that you do like first thing in the morning when you wake up. Pull out your journal and write down something. Write how you feel. Write what you dreamt about right before you go to bed. That's a great time to pull out your journal. Pull it out. Write down some things about what you went through in that day, how you felt in that day, different scenarios that played out throughout the day and how they made you feel. Write it out, and that will give you an opportunity to start really getting into and taking a deep dive into your feelings and emotions. And then you start to have a better understanding of how you feel. And once you can put them on paper, it's easier for you to go from reading those things, and then you can start to articulate them if you have a hard time expressing yourself. So especially if you're in like a relationship, or if you deal with someone that maybe you are feeling kind of like you're walking on eggshells around because you don't really know how to communicate with them, or maybe there's some type of communication breakdown, write it out. Write it in your journal. You can also refer back to your journal, and you can look at pivotal moments that you have, like different times, and you can say, okay, at this time I was going through this, and this is how I felt. This is how it made me feel. And it's kind of like a way to remember, so you can go back and think of different triggers or things like that that may cause you to have certain types of emotions. And you can go back and read your information, and it'll give you an idea of like different patterns that you may fall into, and how you may start to feel a certain way after certain events take place within your life. So journaling is a really powerful tool that you can use. And again, if you have a hard time articulating how you feel and getting expressing your feelings or getting it out, and you tend to keep things all bottled up, journaling is a great way for you to learn how to start expressing that, reading back over your feelings, reading and reading out loud how you felt, and hearing yourself say those words. It gives you a sense of power, and you start to own those words. And then when you get in those situations, it comes easier to you how you can say what you truly feel. Number 5, connect with your support people. That one is so important, very important. We all have a village, or we should. Now, sometimes, maybe you've moved away from your village. Maybe, maybe you're in a situation where you're not really close by or in close proximity with your village, but maybe you can talk to them over the telephone, or maybe you can see them online in a certain social media platform. But it's very important that you keep support people that love you, people that love you, and that you trust, that can help you navigate those times when you're feeling low, or that you can kind of lean on and have conversations with and build community with, so that you can have that support whenever you're feeling or having those moments where you feel like you have no one, or you need somebody to talk to. Now, again, I'm not saying go and tell everybody your business, because it's your business, and I do not advise telling people, especially about things that you have going on in your relationship, especially people that love you, because they are going to be, most of the time, they're going to be on your side, because they're only getting your perspective and your side of the story. So they're going to tend to kind of gravitate toward caring for you and hearing your side and being on your team in the midst of any kind of drama or conflict that you're having with your significant other. And the worst case scenario is that they get to a point where they seriously dislike your significant other, but you stay with your significant other. And now you've created a situation where you went and told your family or your friends about something that this person did to you, and now they dislike this person, but you have forgiven them. And so now you have this kind of dynamic going on where people know things that maybe they shouldn't know about the dynamics in your relationship. So I say, again, have a support system for people that love you, for you to be around them, that you can pull that good positive energy where you can go around them to laugh and talk and have a good time and just do lighthearted and fun and emotionally connect with those people. But when it comes to talking about the serious issues and drama and things like that about your relationship, it's one thing if you have one close friend or one close relative that you can confide in, that you trust, and you know that they will be unbiased with their opinion. That may be a good solution. Or maybe somebody from your church, like your pastor at your church. My biggest recommendation would be to seek counseling or talk to a therapist. And that is a good way to get those feelings and emotions out and hopefully get some unbiased opinions and advice about how to navigate that particular situation without pulling your friends and loved ones in and having them potentially start to dislike your loved one. So again, number 5, connect with your support group. And then number 6 is create a vision for your future. What do you want your future to look like? What is the outcome of your life after this part of, or this season is said and done? You know, how do you want to see yourself maybe a year from now or 5 years from now? How do you want to show up at that point in time? I think that's something that journaling can definitely help you do, but it's also something that maybe you need to get quiet. Sometimes the best time for you to really get into connection with yourself and to know what it is that you want and what you need is quiet time, when you're not distracted, when you're able to just kind of maybe go to work and come home and just kind of be with yourself and be with your emotions and think about, what do you truly want out of life? What do you truly want for yourself? What do you truly want for yourself relationship wise? What does your ideal partner look like? How will they show up for you? Those are all different kinds of questions that you need to be asking yourself and being able to answer for yourself, so that you know what your future looks like, and you can set a goal for your future, and then you can start making small steps toward that goal to eventually get you there. But if you don't have a goal, if you don't have a vision for how you want your future to look, then you're just kind of blowing in the wind or rolling around like a tumbleweed, and you just kind of pick up things as you go, and there's no structure. And you need that structure, especially when you're going through your healing phase, because if not, you run the risk of being all over the place emotionally. And you know, you're over here doing this, you're trying this over here, and then you're feeling this, and you're emotional. You don't want to be all over the place. And you know, so develop some goals, develop a vision of where you see yourself in the not so distant future, and then maybe set like a more long-term goal and vision of where you see yourself, and then talk yourself or write down the steps of what it's going to take to get there. Write down the steps, or write down the characteristics of, if you know, say marriage is your goal, or finding a new or better relationship is your goal. Write down the characteristics of that person that you see yourself with. Who is your ideal mate? Who do you want to be in a relationship? How is your ideal behaviors in a relationship? How do you want that dynamic to look? Write it all out. Create a vision and put steps in place to get yourself there. Write down what it's going to take for you to get to that point, and then you can slowly start checking off your different milestones as you progress to get yourself to that vision. And then the number 7 is practice gratitude. That one is big. You have to talk to yourself and be positive with yourself. Now, that does not mean, you know, tell yourself things that are not true, or be untrue to yourself, or lie to yourself. You want to always be aware of your feelings and your truth. You want to live in your truth. However, you also want to be positive with yourself and not be so critical and hard on yourself, especially after a relationship is broken down. You want to analyze your behaviors and see what you did. Maybe think about your actions that you took, or maybe you neglected to take, that may have played into the demise of that relationship. But that is taking an internal assessment of your own behaviors and yourself. That's not cutting yourself down. That's being honest with yourself, thinking about, what could I have done maybe to change this, or what did I do that maybe I probably could have handled it in a different way. Be honest with yourself, but then also practice gratitude about the things that you did correctly. How did you show up in that relationship? I was really good at doing XYZ, or I was a great support at ABC, or I did really well at whatever it is. practice gratitude, and then also tell yourself great things about yourself on a daily basis. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, I am enough, because you are enough. Now, maybe you and that particular person, maybe y'all didn't work out, but that does not mean that you're not enough. Maybe you're just with someone that is not in alignment with you, and that's okay. That's the whole purpose of dating and getting to know somebody. Or if you're in happen to have gone through a divorce, it's not the end of the world. People go through divorce all the time. People have divorces every day, and you will move on, and you will survive, and you will find yourself getting stronger and stronger each day. Even if you feel at the current state like your entire world has crumbled and everything is a mess, you feel like you're at the lowest point of your life. And I understand how you can feel that way, but I want you to understand that even if you feel that way today, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is sunshine on the horizon, and you have great things to look forward to. You have great qualities about yourself. Dig deep. Again, journal. Write those things down. You can also ask your friends and your family or people that are close to you. Ask them for an honest assessment. Ask them, like, what do you see about me that you think is really great? What is a great characteristic of me? Or give me like your top two characteristics about my personality that you think are really great about me. And just kind of take some information from whoever you may trust to give you the honest information and feedback about your characteristics and the positive and the good things about yourself. And then also, again, practice that gratitude. Talk to yourself constantly. Tell yourself over and over. And you can find some different daily affirmations and things that you can tell yourself, but one of them that you can start off with is, I am enough, because you absolutely are enough. You are enough, and don't ever let anybody think that you are not enough. This situation, this season may be over. This season may not have been, or this time in this season may have come to a conclusion, but that does not mean that life is over for you. You still have plenty of life left in you, and you still have lots of living to do. And so I don't want you to focus so heavily on the negative. I want you to focus on the positive and to tell yourself positive things, because when you give yourself that positive self-talk, then you start to you walk with a different air. You have a different feeling of confidence about you when you tell yourself repeatedly over and over again. Because think about it, especially if you were in a situation where somebody may have been somewhat abusive or told you things about yourself that made you feel less than. If they told you that over and over again, it started to set in, right? So if it started to set in with them telling you negative, then if you start telling yourself positive things over and over again, how do you think that's going to impact you and your self-esteem? It will do the opposite. Hopefully it'll make you feel better about yourself, and it'll give you a little boost in your confidence. So again, practice gratitude. Get yourself, they have gratitude journals and things out there. If you don't have a specific gratitude journal, just take your regular journal and just write down 1, 2, or 3 different things on a daily basis. Before you go to bed, pull out that journal and just think back throughout your day and think, what are 3 things that I did well today? 3 things that I'm proud of myself for doing today. What did I conquer today that a fear of mine that maybe I have had for a long time and I forced myself to face, or a feeling that I was able to talk myself through today, or I got to a low space. And after that, when I recognized that I was in a low space, I did XYZ, and I was able to help myself come out of that low space and come to a better feeling about myself for today. So, whatever it is that you can look back on throughout your day and say, I handled that pretty good, or I did a good job with this, or I feel good about how I handled that. Write those things down and then tell yourself some positive affirmations. End it with a positive affirmation. Tell yourself again, I am enough. Then when you wake up in the morning, do your journaling or write down or whatever it is, plan out your day, write out some things that you want to do for the day, give yourself some short-term goals, and then give yourself another positive affirmation. You can get online, you can search those on Google. There's all kinds of positive self-care or self-motivation quotes and things like that. Go and search that on Google and, pick out however many you need to, or Chat GPT or something like that. Tell Chat GPT, you can put in the search on Chat GPT and you can say, give me 30 days worth of positive affirmations that I can recite to myself on a daily basis to help improve self-esteem. You can use that as a prompt. And then take those prompts and tell yourself that every morning while you're getting ready for work or school or whatever it is that you're doing for the day, use one of those prompts and tell yourself that while you're looking in the mirror or while you're brushing your teeth or while you're combing your hair, whatever it is that you're doing for your morning routine, tell yourself one of those positive affirmations and then live that positive affirmation throughout the day. Live it. Become whatever it is that affirmation has said about you. I am enough. Show up as being enough all day. Everything that you do that day, keep it in your mind. I am enough. At work, I'm going to a meeting. I have to present. I am enough. I know this. I am going to knock it. I'm going to kill it. I'm going to kill it because I'm enough. I'm smart. I know what I need to know. I work hard. I do what I need to do to be successful. I am enough. Just tell yourself those things, and that is what helps build your self-esteem. So again, I do want you to, make sure that you are practicing self-care and prioritizing yourself while you're going through your healing phase, because this can be a really emotional time for anybody. It can be, especially if you're heartbroken, especially if you've lost a loved one. But when you're going through heartbreak, you can experience a whole wide range of emotions. And so I want you to be able to identify different ways that you can prioritize yourself and while you're navigating the different emotions that will come along while you're going through your healing phase. Some days you're going to be up. Some days you're going to feel like you're at the lowest of the low, and it's going to be everything in you to even drag yourself out of bed for the day, or maybe to shower or to eat something. And you know what? That's okay. That is okay. Feel it. Tell yourself, I feel this way today. If you need to cry, cry. Cry into your pillow. Whatever it is you need to do to cope, but don't try to hold back your emotions and not let yourself feel, because all that does is just keep it bottled inside, and then at some point you're going to explode and let it all out. And that's not what you want to do either. So when you have certain emotions, allow yourself the time to feel it. If you need to take a breath, stop, breathe, take 4 seconds. And then let it out and just breathe. Just breathe and focus on yourself, and just make sure that you are taking care of yourself. Make sure you get your nutrition. Make sure you're eating. Take time, get your rest. If you need to sleep, sleep. Some days you are going to sleep all day, and that is okay. But just don't let it go on for a prolonged period of time. But again, talk to yourself, journal some things out, write your emotions, and your feelings are valid. If you don't remember anything else, how you feel at this time, your feelings are valid, however you feel. So take the time to own those feelings and feel it, but then find a way to help yourself move along so that you don't stay in that low space for too long. And if you just absolutely become paralyzed with emotions and grief, to the point where you cannot function, then I suggest you contact professional help. Seek professional help. Contact your therapist. There's different support numbers and things out there for you, and resources, community resources to help you navigate those feelings and emotions. So that you don't stay down too long. So that's all I have for today. I want you to, if you would, write in the comments, like, what is one thing that you're going to do to prioritize yourself right now or this week? What is one thing that you're going to do this week to prioritize yourself and to make sure that you are taking care of yourself emotionally through your process? Write it in the comments, and I would love to see what you guys have to say about that. I also want to ask you, please subscribe. I'm going to be having more videos and things that I'll be putting out. And again, this channel is all about helping you heal and thrive while you're going through that healing process. We're going to talk about rediscovering yourself. We're going to talk about ways to make money online, which is the way that I've chosen to help myself heal through my process. I want to make money online. I want to become a content creator. And so while I'm talking to you and researching and learning these different concepts, it is also helping me in the process as well. So let's go on this journey together. Let's take this journey together. So again, I challenge you, I ask you, write something in the comments. What's one thing that you hope to do to prioritize yourself in the next week? Please subscribe so we can continue this and keep this conversation going and keep ourselves lifted and be a support for each other through our process. And thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you on the next episode.